My name is Raz Mahari, and I am an English teacher at Excellence. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the best quotes by Sir Francis Bacon. I hope you will enjoy these quotes. Sir Francis Bacon, he is known as the father of English essay. He has some very beautiful quotes in his essays. They are pithy, epigrammatic, and full of meanings. He says about books. His first quote is about books that I've chosen. He says, some books should be tasted, some devoured, but only a few should be chewed and digested thoroughly. Sir Francis Bacon on books. And in another quote, he says, hope, it's about hope. He says, hope is a good breakfast, but it is a bad supper. Another quote is, if a man will begin with certainties, he shall end in doubts. But if he will be content to begin with doubts, he shall end it in certainties. Francis Bacon, and he said this quote in The Advancement of Learning. Another quote, very interesting, he says, a wise man will make more opportunities than he. And then his advice about why read and how to read. He says, read not to contradict and confute, nor to believe and take for granted, nor to find, talk, and discourse, and consider. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. That is, some books are to be read only in parts, others to be read but not curiously, and some few to be read wholly and with diligence and attention. This quote has been taken from his essays. Another quote is, there is no exquisite beauty without some strangeness in the proportion. He was a very wise man, and all his quotes are practical because he had pragmatic approach, practical approach. He says, imagination was given to man to compensate him for what he is not, a sense of humor to console him for what he is. He says in another quote, he says, begin doing what you want to do now. We are not living in eternity. We have only this moment, sparkling like a star in our hand and melting like a snowflake. Here is another quote in which he says, man prefers to believe what he prefers to be true. Similarly, about wonder, he says, wonder is the seed of knowledge. In another quote, he says, it is a sad fate for a man to die before, too well known to everybody else and still unknown to himself. I repeat, it is a sad fate for a man to die too well known to everybody else and still unknown to himself. Money. About money, Sir Francis Bacon says, money is a great servant, but a bad master. Age. Age appears, but in four things: old wood to burn, old wine to drink, old friends to trust, and old authors to read. And about artists, what does he think about artists? Sir Francis Bacon thinks that the job of the artist is always to deepen the mystery. And now about reading. He says, reading maketh a full man, and writing an exact man, and therefore If a man writes little, he needs have a if a man writes little, he need have a present wit. If he read little, he need have much cunning to seem to know which he doth not. In order to in order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Knowledge itself is power. It is impossible to love and be wise. Read not to contradict and confute, nor to believe and take for granted, but to weigh and consider. In taking revenge, a man is but even with his enemy, but in passing it over, he is superior. There are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. The less people speak of their greatness, the more we think of it. The general root of superstition, namely, that men observe when things hit and not when they miss, and commit to memory the one and forget and pass over the other. If we are to achieve things never before accomplished, we must employ methods never before attempted. God has in fact written two books, not just one. Of course, we are all familiar with the first book he wrote, namely Scripture. But he has written a second book called Creation. Philosophy, when superficially studied, excites doubt. When thoroughly explored, it dispels it. There's no comparison between that which is lost by not succeeding and that which is lost by not trying. Reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. That's a very good advice for students. The root of all superstition is that men observe when a thing hits, but not when it misses. These were wonderful quotes, and I hope these quotes will be useful for students. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. See you again very soon.